In the 1950s and 1960s, Western countries were very interested in ultralight helicopters/single-person flying vehicles. Countries such as the United Kingdom, the United States, and Germany proposed their own designs. At that time, France was also making efforts to develop the aviation industry. In this field, there was naturally no idle time. A special design called the SA-610 Ludion appeared at the Paris Air Show in 1967. The SA-610 was developed by the French company Sud-Aviation. It was a rudimentary vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, VTOL. Although its performance was not impressive, it showed significant development value, overshadowing its competitors and causing quite a sensation. The original intention of the SA-610's design was the same as other small aircraft. It was intended for operation by one person. In military applications, it was meant to assist infantry in crossing special/dangerous terrain such as minefields, rivers, and canyons. In civilian use, it could be used for short distance, rapid transportation of small amounts of supplies in complex terrain. The aircraft structure was rudimentary, like attaching a rocket engine to a chair. The pilot sat in an open cockpit and controlled the aircraft using a control stick and pedals. In addition to a small rubber-wheeled landing gear at the front of the aircraft, there were also two extendable metal pole landing gears on each side of the fuselage, seemingly using the elasticity of the metal poles to provide shock absorption. This machine was powered by a rocket engine, completely different from designs using propellers, etc. This rocket engine used isopropyl nitrate as fuel. This chemical was considered a new type of propellant to replace hydrogen peroxide at the time. It was relatively safe and had slightly stronger combustion performance, although people found that it had a problem with detonation and required very precise control of pressure, so it did not play a major role in the aerospace field. It was commonly added to car fuel in daily life or used as a solvent. The operation principle of the rocket may be beyond people's imagination. Despite the presence of something resembling a rocket on each side of the fuselage, it actually only had one combustion chamber, which was the metal spherical object behind the seat. Isopropyl nitrate ignited under the action of a catalyst, and the high-pressure gas produced entered the pressurized tubes on the sides of the fuselage through two side pipes, that is, the metal structures resembling rocket engines in the photos. Its nozzle was slightly inclined outward from the fuselage. The pressurized gas was sprayed out through the structure of multiple nozzles and then reduced in gas pulse through the end diffuser, increasing the unit space gas mass. In simple terms, the originally fast ejection of rocket gas was changed to a more slow and voluminous ejection of gas. Although speed was sacrificed, the benefit was an increase in thrust, making it easier for the pilot to control. The aircraft changed its flight attitude by changing the thrust vector. We can see that there are spoilers at the nozzle, which can change the angle of certain airflow ejection and achieve attitude adjustment. Changes in flight altitude may be achieved by controlling fuel output to change engine thrust. The SA-610 had an empty weight of only 90 kilograms, a length of 1.95 meters, a width of 1.485 meters, a height of 1.6 meters, and a maximum flight speed of about 100 kilometers per hour. It could fly for about 30 minutes when fully fueled. The design engineer claimed that in addition to carrying one pilot, it had an effective payload of 30 kilograms, a maximum flight altitude of 700 meters, and the aircraft had undergone over 150 test flights without any problems. In fact, the practical value of such a small single-person aircraft was questionable. No one believed that it could fly a long distance or high, and even the weight of the pilot had to be strictly limited. What people really cared about was its potential for development in space. At that time, the space race was in the fast lane, and it seemed that it would not be long before landing on the Moon and Mars, and spacewalking by astronauts would become commonplace. At that time, specialized space backpacks seemed particularly important. The SA-610 did not continue to develop and was cancelled shortly afterwards. One of the reasons was the rapid advancement of conventional helicopter technology, and the envisioned space flight backpack was not realized. The French aerospace industry has not yet reached that far.